So recently I've been giving a lot of thought to the concept of relaxation and the role that it plays in athleticism and in movement, and the role that I believe that it should play in training and the focus that it deserves within our training. And that might seem counterintuitive to someone when we're thinking about training, because we're thinking about high outputs, high intensity. Relaxation is not really the first word that comes to mind. But if you're an athlete or somebody that's genuinely interested in improving your performance and moving better in sport, then hear me out. If we think about the best athletes in the world, they tend to make movement look effortless. And I think there's a reason for that. They are good at relaxing and staying relaxed in the moment, in movement, in high pressure situations. They don't get bound up or overly tense. And I think there's psychological components to this too, where they're able to stay relaxed in their mind, able to stay relaxed in their body. They create tension at the right moments, but they don't waste any extra tension in the wrong moments. And I think this allows them to better or more freely express their movement and get the task done. Because when it comes to athletic performance and to movement, it's not just about the high outputs. It's not just about being strong or fast or explosive. Those things are obviously important attributes and qualities. But for doing well and performing well, it's determined by how well are you able to express those qualities to get a specific task done. Because you might be the strongest person on the team, but if you can't express that strength in a way that's useful for you on the field or the court or the ice, then it's useless. So I think relaxation is one of, not the only, but one of the important conduits to being able to bridge these qualities and organize them and actually express them in a useful way in competition and in movement. Now, this is a topic that people touch on and discuss from time to time, and some people implement, but I think by and large, it's an area of focus that's largely overlooked when it comes to training and practice. And I think that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's oftentimes people approach a training environment with that hard-nosed kind of meat-headed mentality, which I am, by the way, and I love, by the way, and I think there's value to that and going hard and high outputs. Relaxation tends not to be at the forefront of the mind when we're approaching a training session or planning a training session. And I think the other big factor is it's not measurable. We don't have metrics. It's very easy to measure weight on the bar or jump height or speed. You can't really measure relaxation apart from the eye test, which is subjective. So for those reasons, I think it tends to be overlooked, but I think its value to performance and to movement can't be overstated. So right now I'm in a place where I'm playing around with different methods and cues and constraints and games to try to elicit some relaxation or focus on relaxation in a training environment. And it's easier said than done, because I'm finding that with myself or with athletes, there tends to be a good deal of apprehension about letting yourself relax. And like I said, there's definitely some psychological components to it where we have this guard up. It's like a guy on the dance floor who just can't, just white guy dancing stiff on the dance floor and can't relax and have some swagger and let themselves move. So there are some, it's trickier than just saying, try to relax when you do this. So I'm having some fun kind of digging into that and trying to access different brain spaces and find different words that can elicit that relaxation response, again, both with my athletes and with myself. And this is not something that's that is innate to me myself. I've always been the tense, kind of go hard type mentality. And I think ultimately that served me well with training and with practice. But when it came to higher level sports performance, I think it was a hindrance and didn't let me express my movement as freely as I needed to succeed at the higher levels. So again, this is just something that I'm just kind of starting to think about and consider and find practical ways to make it work in a training environment. So I'm interested to see where this path kind of takes me and what kind of light bulbs go off along the way. some of the things that I've been messing with so far in the training environment have just been doing movements that I already do, like skips, shuffles, karaoke variations, but doing them with the sole intention of being as fluid and as rhythmic as possible, to steal a term from Vernon Griffith, trying to move in cursive and just add some swagger to the movement. So approaching those drills that we already do, everybody's done thousands of times, but with that intent and with that mindset. And what I'm working on now is trying to couple those with higher intensity movements, like your throws, like your sprints, your accelerations, your jumps, and trying to bridge some of that relaxation into those higher intensity movements. And that's where it really becomes difficult, because a lot of us have the tendency, when it's a higher output, to grit our teeth and get tense and try to jump through the ceiling or whatever the movement might be. So trying to marry those two things, that relaxation component with the high intensity component, I think that's the next level. That's the key to the next level of movement. So if we can find ways to introduce that to athletes that don't inherently move that way, I think that's the next level, because anybody can make you stronger, anybody can make you faster, but being able to take those qualities and bridge the gap to the sport and make them effective, useful qualities, achieving specific tasks and specific movements within sport, I think that's the next level.